How's it going, everybody? This is Willie with Legacy Discoveries. Check it out. I'm in the Squatch cart, the one that mom drives. My truck's in the shop. Anyways, I was researching myself last night, and I didn't learn anything new, if that's what you're wondering. But what I did find out, though, is that basically my research is nullified. It's all nullified. It is not considered legitimate research, considering the fact that the DNA samples that I have yet to be tested. And so I don't have the credentials behind my team to show that these hair samples that I'm pulling out of these casts that I have are legitimate. Okay. And then I started looking into forensics. I've already looked into forensics, and the only agency that was willing to help me out, at least in my local area here, that I didn't have to pay for, was law enforcement. I called up the colleges, I called up the hospitals, the clinics, and nobody was willing to help me except for law enforcement. And they told me that if they were to do a DNA test on these hair samples that I have, I would have to turn in all of my logbooks. I would have to turn in all of my casts, all of the gifts that I've been given, and my book of glyphs that I have documented my life's work, all handed over to them so that they can just put it up on the shelf. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Just like what happened with David Politis's team, I've run into the same roadblock, but I don't have as many resources as what David Politis's team has and stuff. And bravo to him too, because he stuck it in the face of the man and was like, look, here is your evidence to conclude that these people are real. And it all got buried completely because of the fact that the DNA tests so similar to human DNA. They automatically assume that you've spit on it or you've touched it, and they don't go any further than that. They just bury it. So if I were to turn in all of the DNA samples that I've collected, I would have to pay for it, for one, and two, I would be subjecting it to be ridiculed and erased, and then have them provide me with false information in return. Because that's how the mainstream science works. There is a systematic process in which the mainstream science does this, and you can look it up too and stuff. It was nothing that I was actually expecting. I was actually hoping that I was going to find a forensics agency, a freelancer agency, somebody who's not basically under the government's thumb in order to test my results here and stuff and give me tangible feedback. And it's not going to happen because nobody wants to be associated with the name Bigfoot, because in turn what that does is that opens them up for ridicule, and then all of a sudden the money flow stops. And money is what makes the world go round. Oh, man. It's one hell of a catch-22, isn't it? To be anybody, you have to conform to the box, and I have refused to conform to the box, so how am I to expect any help out of it? It was kind of foolish of me to even think that I could to begin with. Because, I get the question all the time and stuff, well, Expedition Bigfoot and Destination Truth and Finding Bigfoot and stuff, all these teams have been able to do it and everything, and they've been able to collect DNA samples and stuff. Yeah, have you researched what the DNA is reading from these tests? It's everything to do with some sort of monkey. Monster, monkey, or myth. The 3M agenda. Okay? If you are to believe in Sasquatch, you are to believe in these 3 categories. Because where you are getting your information from whenever you ask these questions comes from one of the walls of the box. Entertainment. To hold, to capture is the Latin translation that turned into entertainment. Okay? And going to like colleges and stuff like that and expecting them to test my DNA and stuff like that, the samples that I've collected and whatnot, I'm going to the floor of the box and asking the floor for help. And what's the floor gonna say? No. Because if you ain't gonna play by the rules of the Monopoly board, you ain't gonna play at all. Fine. Then go into the hospitals, go into the medical wall, asking the same thing, getting the same answer, okay? There is no wall to the box that is ever going to help out the understanding that Sasquatch is real. The box itself, society itself, refuses to acknowledge the existence. Why? Because of the financial wall and the lid. Okay? These 2 are what is blocking everything. Okay? Because what does it all come down to? It all comes down to money. And you say, well, how's that so? Okay. Well, if there was an unknown tribe of people living out in the woods right up here and stuff, and I were to bring pictures back and everything and show the world, hey, we have an unknown species of human living up right there on the ridge and stuff where all the logging's taking place. You need to shut that logging down. Big problem right there. You see, that logging right there, that provides all of these houses. That provides the toilet paper that you use. That provides the newspaper. What is logging? The backbone of industry. What is industry? The backbone of society. Okay? The American dream. The wall ahead of you. Go anywhere. Do anything. Be anybody that you want to be. That involves your job. That involves the business in which you conduct. Okay? Whatever business you conduct must conform to the box. See, the promise of go anywhere and do anything. Well, I want to be a Bigfoot researcher. That doesn't work for the box because it jeopardizes the box. By jeopardizing logging, you are jeopardizing the whole thing. Okay? And so it's just not going to happen. Just like what happened with David Paulides and his work and everything being swept completely under the rug, even after he broke apart the cell and pulled out the mitochondrial DNA and showed the world we do have a relic hominid living among us. All of it got buried immediately. And then let's go forward another year, because David Paulides' work was in 2012. 2013, Brian Sykes tested 40 different hair molecule samples, or hair samples for DNA, and of the 40, 33 were concluded horse, bear, and dog. Okay. 7 of them came from the Himalayan mountains. 7 of the 40 came from the Himalayan mountain range. And all 7 of them proved inconclusive and so relatable to human DNA that instead of sounding the alarm, I have found a relic hominid, or I have found a subspecies of human here. Instead of doing that, what did he do? He labeled them as a 40,000-year-old polar bear. It's the systematic process on how to erase such significant evidence. And then let's also think here too, check it out. Cryptozoology is not a formal, recognized scientific field. Really? It's not? Did you know a silverback gorilla used to be a cryptid? Did you know that the giant squid used to be a cryptid? Did you know the thylacine or thylacine, the Tasmanian tiger, is now on the cryptid list? It went from being extinct to being on the cryptid list. And mind you, it went extinct not too long ago, labeled extinct not too long ago, like less than 100 years or something like that. And the idea that they're just gonna, we're just gonna put it on the cryptozoology list and stuff, that way we don't have to deal with it anymore and stuff, because then this is going to shut down logging, this is going to shut down this and that and everything, and we like our money more. It's absolutely ridiculous. And on top of that, there is something in the ocean, actually, that should be on the cryptozoology list that isn't. It's called 52 blue. A blue whale sings at 40 hertz. This thing sings at 52 hertz, and at the deepest depth that a blue whale can dive. It has never been sighted. It has never come up for air. And we have never gotten any DNA from it whatsoever. Only audio recordings from a Navy vessel. How many different military facilities, training facilities, and stuff like Fort Worth, for instance, have documented having a Sasquatch encounter? Okay. It is absolutely ridiculous at the fact that they have even concluded 52 blue as a whale. It doesn't even sing in the same frequency. They don't have any DNA. They've never cited it. And they've just automatically concluded it as the loneliest whale in the world. Simply because they heard it once. They heard the bloop too. They automatically assumed, well, this is coming from this is a biosignature right here and stuff, and it's so massive and so large and everything that this thing could probably swallow a whale and stuff like that and everything. They have the audio recording of it, of the bloop, and have identified it as a biosignature, and yet they don't put that on the list. It's not a whale. They don't know what it is. And it's not on the cryptid list either. So you mean to tell me that all you need is one piece of evidence to conclude that something that you've never seen is legit and a whale? I have handprints. I have footprints with dermal ridges on it. That's the skin creases that you see on your fingertips and on the bottom of your feet. I have hair samples. I have legitimate literature documented. I have over 100 GIFs and 100 glyphs documented. And on top of that, on multiple occasions, I have had sightings of more than 3 people at once looking at the same individual all concluding that's a Sasquatch. My team alone has collected that data, and yet we're illegitimate. Sounds to me more like we're buried is what we are. And back to the logging too. It's like a lot of people have even, because I brought up this fact to people on face-to-face conversation, and I've been told, oh, we wouldn't do that. We would shut down logging immediately. Are you certain about that? Are you 100% certain? Why don't you go back to 2012 whenever we discovered the Awa tribe? What happened there? Because they're on the brink of extinction right now due to logging. Just because there is an undocumented tribe that has never been associated with modern science and modern technology and being part of modern society. They've never been contacted by the outside world. And what did we do? We just wiped them off the planet because we wanted their trees. We wanted their resources. We wanted their fruit. And now they're down to, I don't even know how many are left at this point, but they are on the brink of extinction because of our greed. And our greed is what one of the fundamentals of the box requires. Okay? If you are going to conform to the box, you are going to operate the way the box wants you to operate. Be greedy. Be greedy. Everything is built out of greed. These roads, these houses, all the power lines and stuff, and everything, the mail even. Everything is built out of greed. This car, to get to and fro much faster, it's all for money. And that's the saddest part about all of this too, is the fact that understanding we will never be able to formally recognize Sasquatch because society itself is so afraid of what will happen by shutting down the backbone of industry, by shutting down the backbone of society, in order for us to conclude that there is a population of human that is not the same species of human as us is living among us. And the whole idea of saying it's ridiculous to believe in such things, well, science itself has already proved how many different relic hominids there are. How many of them? And we walked among them too. They walked side by side with us. We traded with Neanderthals. We went to war with Neanderthals, okay? It's like to say, yeah, there were, but there will never be again. Who put you in charge in saying something like that? Because last I heard, everything, the only constant in this universe is change. Everything is always changing. That's the only consistency about this universe. So, take everything with a grain of salt. Even what I say. Do the research yourself. It does not take a lab coat and it does not take a doctorate's degree for you, yourself, to go and look for answers. If you go up on that mountain, you don't see anything, move to the next one. Move to the next one. Move to the next one. Eventually, you're going to see something that stands out to you as strange. I promise you that. But you have to be open-minded and understanding that the human perception only perceives 0.0035% of the total measurable spectrum. We only see a grain of sand compared to the Gobi Desert. And to conclude that we know everything, that's pretty arrogant of us. God bless. Stay squatchy.